Part 9, The Process of Change.
We may blame our parents and others for our beliefs. However, only we can now change them. There comes a point in life where faulting others for our dilemma no longer eases the pain. No matter how or when we formulated our beliefs, they now roost within us. Only we can change them. I can hear it already.
I don't like change. Few do, and here are the reasons they often give. New could be worse. Yes, that's a possibility. I will be different. Not only will my life change, I will think from a different perspective than many others. A sobering thought. Old ways are familiar. We already have a plan in place to escape any emotional trouble we may drop into. Denial and blame head the list of possibilities. I didn't do it, blame her. The only trouble with such a plan is that it perpetuates pain. In other words, it doesn't work to create a relaxed mind nor inner joy. We are continuously attempting to perfectly be perfect. We lose focus of the innate love we are, our reality. Change is difficult. No question about it. Change often requires a concentrated effort. I fear the unknown. Yes, it's a gamble, but at least change offers hope for a peaceful life full of love. If we don't change, neither will our life. Here is what we are up against. Change involves 3 basic ingredients. The first is desire. Our desire to end the pain of judgment stems from the love we are and its desire to be expressed. Next, we'll also need a workable alternate idea. If there is not a more beneficial substitute, the mind prefers to stay anchored in its current belief, continuing to manifest what it has been taught to believe and do. A possible alternative thought could be, I will now aim for expressing the love I am instead of supporting judgment's 2-pile matrix. Did you catch that? I will now aim for expressing self-love instead of having to be right and doing what others believe I should do. Our aim this lifetime has often been to be perfect, right, and good. Now our aim is to express our love to ourselves and others. The third ingredient for change is a focused consciousness. This is vital. Awareness of others, and especially self-awareness of our behavior and the words that pass our lips, is a must. It is important to catch ourselves judging if we are to stop. But be forewarned, change is often challenging. Here's why. Picture a stacked pile of wood. By the way, have you ever stacked logs before? Remember placing the bottom row down first and then building on top of it? This is the same mechanism employed concerning storing beliefs. Here, the bottom row represents the first beliefs we were taught. Later, beliefs that agree with them are stacked on top. This is why changing the first core beliefs can be difficult. Each core belief supports many other beliefs, but it can be done. It just may require more effort than expected. Anchoring bias is another reason why change is tricky. The brain wants to continue to use old ideas which have well-worn neural pathways and synapses. Many of our old beliefs are often constructed to avoid emotional pain. You may recall we spoke earlier on how emotions set a belief in stone. A great deal of research has been done on this phenomena. We are not alone. Even chess masters will ignore new, faster solutions to victory when they run contrary to their old pattern of logic. It seems to be the nature of our brain to think it already knows the answer. Often, if we think we know the answer, we will not evaluate evidence objectively. This idea is from the research of two highly regarded psychologists, Marin Bialik and Peter MacLeod. To put it simply, neutralizing a belief is a lot of trouble. It involves building new neurons, breaking old synapses, and making new ones. But it can be done. Here are the steps in learning something new. The process of change. The process of change is often a progressive one. It begins with awareness. At first, awareness of our making a judgment may not occur until hours after it has been made. It might even be the next day when suddenly we recall, "Oh my goodness, I just remember what I wanted to say instead of that judgment." The next time, the response gap will shorten until it closes. Awareness of a judgment may take place only moments after it occurs. It is hardly out of our mouths when we remember. Shortly thereafter, we finally find success. Awareness kicks in before a judgment is made. In other words, patience is necessary, along with plenty of self-forgiveness for slip-ups, because the change desired may take longer than expected. This is because of the depth of the belief being changed, and not because of insufficient effort or ability. The brain has to break and create scores of synapses to reach and alter deep core beliefs. As Mark Twain said, "Habit is habit, and not to be flung out the window by any man, but coaxed downstairs one step at a time, hopefully with plenty of self-patience and kindness." So, how long does it take to be proficient in defining oneself? You may have heard it takes 10,000 hours. Let's see what more recent research has uncovered. Yes, change takes time, but not much. This research was done by Josh Kaufman. I saw his presentation on TED, Technology, Education, Design, a nonprofit sapling foundation. He found that to be proficient in a skill takes about 20 hours. If we want to be an expert, it may take 10,000 hours. He wasn't sure about that number. So you may want to give yourself 20 hours of practice before you think stopping judgment is too much to master. Peace of mind is worth the time and effort.
When we dismount from judgment's high horse, the one many of us have ridden our entire lives, we can sense a dramatic change. At this point, we know too much to start riding it again. However, change takes a while to assimilate, and it's just like being in between first and second base. it can be scary because we have often been raised to believe that judgment is the only way to stay safe and avoid being tagged out in life. It takes courage to never judge again and to instead look our past, shame, and guilt straight in the eye and welcome them into our hearts. Hang in there. The dust will settle and a clear new day will arise, no matter how long the dark night. Before we conclude the course, a quick review of the previous section.
1. We are responsible for our beliefs. 2. The log pile phenomena plus anchoring bias creates a resistance to change. 3. Change is possible. 4. Change requires determination, self-monitoring awareness, plus lots of patience.